What do you mean you don't like his character? Have you seen his children? Have you seen the current president's children? His son. You want to talk about character? I'm trying to figure this whole character thing out. What is it you don't like about his character? You don't like the fact that he's a billionaire now. A billionaire. Could have took his billions, moved to his own private island, and watched the nation that he loves burn to the ground. But instead, he set all that aside to sacrifice himself for a greater cause. He is attacked on a daily basis. Not even a day, on an hourly basis attacked. He's got enough money and position and power, he could avoid all that. But this is a man, we say he's got character issues. Strongest part of his character I see is something called courage, which is something we could all use. You know, I always just boil it back down to what me and my trooper were talking about. You want to talk about character? Let's go back to the basis. What is this nation based on? Sorry, leftists, this nation is based on the Word of God. Whether you like it or not. That is our foundation. That's where we get our principles from. And in that Word of God, there were some people who had some character flaws. People like King David. Oh, he had some character flaws. But you see, God was still with him. Because God does not pick perfect people. Never does. The only perfect one was Jesus Christ. Everybody else had flaws. God doesn't pick perfect people. He picks the perfect people for the task that he has at hand. And he gives them what they need in order to succeed. Now, I'm not saying that I'm in any way, shape, or form like any of those powerful characters in the Bible. But I can tell you this. I'm not a perfect person. I sin on a daily basis. Daily basis. That's the reason why I proclaim Jesus Christ every time I step on this stage. Because without him, I'm not anything. Amen. I'm nothing. And before him, I am nothing. But he continually gives me what I need in order to be successful in carrying out what I believe he would have me carry out. And so, when we stand before you every time, we give him thanks first and foremost. And I believe that Americans should do that every day upon waking. Because never in the history of the world has there been a more blessed and prosperous land than the United States of America. That's right. We owe it all to those who built it. And those folks built it on the wisdom and knowledge of Jesus Christ. And so we give him thanks first and foremost. Well, guys, here I am standing in a very, very far away place. I say that because this is a very, very, very far away place from where I live. I am a long way from home, and if my car breaks down, I am in trouble. I'm just going to have to throw me up some boards somewhere in the woods and stay there. Because I am not walking home. That was a long journey. Then when I leave here, I got another long journey up to go to another place, going to Beaufort when I leave here. But we love it out here. I love it. When I was a child, I never got the chance to come to the Outer Banks. Never got the chance to come to this part of the world. Nowhere on the coast. I remember I had friends and said, oh, we're going to spend all summer at the beach. And I thought, oh, I'm going to spend all summer in the backyard. Closest I'm going to get to the water is a creek at the baseball stadium. But I never got to come out here. But the first time I did, I fell in love with it. And I fell in love with this place for the same reason that people come to North Carolina and fall in love with North Carolina. It's because of the people. There are coastlines everywhere. That's right. Now, certainly our coastline is better than everybody else's. Let's just be better. Let's just be blunt. It's better than everybody else's. I mean, after all, we have a coast, and then we have another coast, and then we have another coast on the other side of that. So we have a coast all over. But it's not really that. It's the people. I don't know what it is about the people in North Carolina that makes them so different from people in other places. I don't know whether or not it's their smile. I don't know if it's in the water. I don't know if it's in the air. But whatever it is, there is something different about the state of North Carolina and its people. Say that one more time. Sweet tea, that's it. That's it. That's what New York is missing right now. I guarantee you, if we take a truckload of sweet tea to New York right now, it'd turn Republican overnight. Woo! We'll get that place straightened out overnight. Give them some sweet tea. Cracks me up. You go up there and they bring you that tea in New York, and you look at it like, yeah, this looks like rusty pipe water. That's right. But there's just something about North Carolina and its people that makes it special. Now, guys, let me clear the air on something right here. I've been telling folks. People have asked me why I want to be the governor of this state. I said, why are you running for governor? Why do you want to be the governor? Let's go ahead and clear the air on this. I don't want to be the governor. Okay? I don't want to be the governor. I don't want to be the governor. I didn't wake up one morning and say, you know what, I want to be the lieutenant governor, then I want to be the governor, then I want to be the president, then I want to be the king of the world. I didn't wake up with any desires like that. I still don't have any desires of that nature. I am not interested in being a politician. I'm not. Now, am I interested in serving the people of North Carolina? Yes. I'm interested in serving the people of North Carolina. Being a governor, having a title, riding around the back of a chauffeur-driven car. Oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. Let me back up on that. I'm going to stop saying that, because even after I'm not like lieutenant governor or governor or anything, I'm seriously going to consider hiring a driver. For those of y'all who haven't had one, that's very nice. So we'll just leave that off the list. But I'm not interested in being some big shot who has a title, where people are, you get all these goodies, and that's not part of the equation for me. And I don't understand for the life of me why the current crop of politicians are so interested in thinking that they walk above the people, right, instead of walking with the people. Why they think that they're the leader instead of being the partner with the people and the servant of the people. Right. You see, for me, being in politics is literally, it's like being in the United States Army and being in combat. It is. You're shot at daily. You're attacked daily. You're under threat of attack daily. You have enemies who want to destroy you. They dig into your personal life. They dig into the lives of your children and your wife or your spouse. It's a very nasty business. Why anyone would want to be in it is beyond me. Because this is not about want, folks. This is about an absolute necessity to make sure that North Carolina goes in the right direction. You see, if you went back in time and you asked a soldier in World War II why they were in combat, they wouldn't tell you, well, I like this. I like for Germans and Japanese soldiers to shoot at me and almost die. I like watching my friends die. I like almost being maimed. That's not what it was about. Right. They would tell you the narrative of World War II, that the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor and the Germans were murdering their way across Europe. And it was time for them to stand up and do their individual part to protect the nation that they love. That's what they would tell you. That's the exact same thing that elected officials should be telling us across this nation. I am not in Washington, D.C. for myself. I'm not in Raleigh for myself. I'm not on the city council or the school board for myself. I am there for my friends and neighbors, and I am willing to do what it takes to do what's right, to make sure that our state and our nation and our cities and our municipalities and our counties are taken care of and protected from some of the foolishness that we see going on right now. You look across the national landscape, our border is wide open. We're begging our enemies for fuel. We're allowing Russia to enrich itself with this fuel so it can make war against Ukraine, when what should be happening is we should be pumping our own oil, selling it to our allies, and weakening our enemies across the sea. That's right. We're not doing it. We're doing the exact opposite. You look at what we're doing with crime and punishment. The criminals aren't the bad guys anymore. The police are. We're not defunding the gangs, we're defunding the police. You know, you had a guy named George Floyd that was killed by a police officer. Now, we can argue about why he was killed and how he was killed all day long. But here's the bottom line. When you look at his criminal record, you can't say but one thing. You roam the streets, you commit those crimes, at some point, somebody's going to get you unless you change your life. Now, I'm not saying I don't feel bad for George Floyd and his family. George Floyd wasn't an innocent victim. And he certainly wasn't a rallying cry to defund police officers, to fire police officers, and have a fundamental transformation in policing. And I look at the landscape there, I look at a 9-year-old boy named Tyshawn Lee, who's tortured and murdered by his father's rival gang members. Came to his house, took him out of his house, took him in the alley, tortured him, murdered him, shot him in the head. A 9-year-old boy. Now, if there should have been a rallying cry to defund the gangs, that should have been the rallying cry. If NFL players are going to put somebody's name on their helmet, it shouldn't be George Floyd, it should be Tyshawn Lee. Turn this world upside down. Many of our politicians today are complicit in helping it stay that way. I'm not going to be. I'm going to speak up against the status quo, because the status quo is not good enough for the people of North Carolina. Right. Backwards is not right for the people of North Carolina. North Carolina's got a lot of work to do, folks. A lot of work to do. You know, we've done great since 2010. 2010 and before, we were $3.4 billion in debt to the federal government. You know, we were furloughing state workers not because we didn't need them, but because we couldn't afford to pay them. Teachers didn't get a raise for 6 years. We had some reformations in our state government. Some conservatives took over. Now, not only are we not in debt to the federal government, we have a $5.5 billion surplus. We're giving teachers raises, state troopers raises, and we're the #1 business destination in the nation, 2 years running. We have a grand opportunity in this state. But what is it going to take, and what do we do with that grand opportunity? I would submit to you that what we do is this. We start the process to really grow this economy, grow it out of the bounds of Charlotte and Raleigh, and make sure that this state, that no matter where you stand, whether you stand way out there near Murphy or you're way out here near Manio, you have an equal shot at making a great living and a great life for your family. That's what I believe we need to do. And the way I believe it's going to take place is the fact that we don't need to govern from Raleigh. We don't need to govern from Raleigh. How can I find out what you need all the way out here on the coast if I'm sitting in Raleigh? Can't ask a bureaucrat in Raleigh, that's for sure. We're going to grow this state. We got to go into this state and to the people in this state. Because what we often say is this: there's a lack of opportunity in the eastern part of the state. That's not true. The eastern part of the state is full of nothing but opportunity. Now is the time to take advantage of those opportunities. To invest in the people and the places in this part of the state that will help this state grow. So that in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, North Carolina has an economy that's not fragmented. It has an economy that spans from Murphy to Manio. Part of that process is also getting folks that work for the state government to understand a simple premise. Whether you work for DOT, DEQ, DHHS, or any other state agencies, including the governor's mansion, myself, become governor, I need to remember one thing along with all those folks. One simple premise. I don't work for the state of North Carolina. I work for the people of North Carolina. And we all need to act like it. We are the servants of the people of North Carolina, and you are our customers. And your success depends on how well we serve you. And I believe that's how we are going to be able to grow our economy and build it. But you know, the economy is one thing. But there's this other little thing called education. Education. You know, we can have a healthy economy right now that can be great. If we don't have a great education system, in 10 years, 15 years, guess what that economy is going to look like? It's not going to look very well. Why? Because we're not going to have a workforce to work that economy. Right now in public education, the status quo is not teaching our children, not giving them the skills they need to succeed in the current workforce. Why? Why would I say that? Here's why. Because of the saddest statistic in North Carolina. And what is that statistic? That statistic is this. For the years 2022, 2023, our budget was $30 billion. Of that $30 billion, we spent $16 billion on public education. And statistically speaking, our children can't read on a grade level. That's an F. That is an F. And it's not an F that I would lay on the desk of our teachers. Let me say that again. That's not an F that I lay on the desk of our teachers. Our teachers did not create the system that they're working in.
No, we did not.
They did not create the current system that they're working on. Teachers are not respected. They're not protected. They're not paid well. How in the world can we hold them to a professional standard if we don't do those things? And we expect them to be everything. We expect them to be the teacher and the parent and the preacher and the police officer and the social worker
and the counselor.
And the counselor. And you name it, it goes on and on and on. I can tell you this right now. The number one reformation we need to make when it comes to our teachers is this. The number one reformation is this. We need to allow them to do what we hired them to do. Yeah. Teach. Yeah. Does that mean we forget students that are in trouble? No. But we need a ring of outside agencies that are ready to step in to do what's necessary. And those children are having problems in that classroom, so they can be removed from that classroom, sent to those proper agencies, get the proper care that they need so that those teachers can teach. You know, we can talk about teachers all day, but I can tell you this right now, the number one issue, and we talked about this briefly, about teachers not being held accountable for this debacle we have in education. The debacle we have in public education is this. There is zero accountability in public education from the state level. The vast majority of you out there right now think that the person that's in charge of public education in this state is the superintendent. The one that you voted for. She's not. She's in charge of an agency called DPI, and she can hire and fire exactly 12 people, and that's it. Used to be 6. Before that, it was 3. Public education in this state is in the hands of a state school board that derives its power from our Constitution. And here's the worst part of it. The folks who sit on it and who are in control of it are not elected. They're not hired. They are appointed to 8-year terms. Can't be removed. They have to sit there until the terms run out and until they quit. So they have zero accountability to anyone. Not the teachers, not the parents, not the students. I would submit to you that that has got to change. No matter what we have to do. If we have to change our state constitution, so be it. The one place we've got to have accountability is in public education. Because those two things, public education and our economy, that's what's going to take us to the next level. That's what's going to take us to the next level. It's one of the reasons why I'm so determined to see school choice, parental school choice expanded everywhere in this state. You know, somebody asked me, they said, well, you know, you like school choice, so I guess you don't care about public schools, about the public school system. Yeah, you know, I'm not really for the public school system. I'm for the children inside those systems. I'm not running around here worried about a system. I'm worried about our children. And I want to give them and their parents every tool that they need in order to meet the needs that they need in order to be successful in their lives. A failing system is no reason why you should trap a child, because you want to see a system survive. If the public school system doesn't do what it needs to do to meet the needs of the people of North Carolina, then so be it. We'll find another system. But no matter what it is, we're going to deliver a quality education to our children. We're going to bring back the tenets of reading, writing, and mathematics. We're going to bring back civics and history. We're going to bring back getting our children career ready. I want you to listen to that phrase, career ready. Notice I did not say college ready. If you choose a career that causes you have to go to a 4-year university, so be it. But guess what? I got a great career waiting on you right down here at the community college, as a welder, as a builder, as a construction worker, as a myriad of things that you can do to come out debt free. Sure, we need to open up the world to our children again, then give them the skills that they need in order to step into that world and be successful. Because here's the real goal of education. The goal of education is not to make A's and B's and fill seats in the classroom so we can get $10 more from the federal government. The goal of education is that we give children what they need so they get A's and B's in life with what they learned in that classroom. Guys, I want to assure you, that's what our campaign for governor is going to be all about, and that's what our administration is going to be all about. Now, do not be dismayed. The press is going to tell you that Mark Robinson is this culture warrior that's going to go out and stamp out all the bad stuff. He doesn't like anybody. He hates everybody. There's nobody that I hate, guys. Nobody that I hate. Well, I guess you could probably go back in history and find a few dastardly people that I wasn't very fond of. Not real fond of that guy that bullied me in 7th grade, but I don't hate people. I don't hate anyone. Nowhere can anybody show me where I've ever advocated to violate anyone's constitutional rights to be secure in their own person and be who they want to be, even if their lifestyle is offensive to my religious or spiritual sensibilities. I'm grown up enough to let people have their space to do what they want to do. But now when it comes to these social issues, there's some lines I'm not going to allow to be crossed here in North Carolina. If you were a man on Monday, Tuesday when you said you were a girl and want to run with the girls, going back over there with the boys. Not doing that here in North Carolina. You're a man Friday, Saturday night, you're going to be right there in the men's bathroom, not the women. We're not doing that here in North Carolina. Glory to God. You want your minor children to get what? Gender reassignment surgery. Not here in North Carolina. We're going to fight for a culture of life in this state. Hear what I said? I said a culture of life. I'm grown up enough to know people are going to have abortions. They're going to have it. But here's what I want to do. I don't want to be the guy standing up on the stage hollering at you, telling you why you can't have an abortion. I want to be the guy standing up on the stage that comes down off the stage and comes up to you and puts my arm around you and tell you why you shouldn't have one. And what the people of North Carolina, the legislature of North Carolina is going to do to help you and your child and your family's life be more successful. To deliver those things in daycare, health care, and the adoption system that we need to bring a culture of life in this state. Sure, you can pass a law all day long, but what we really need to do is pass on a little bit of what we used to call just plain old ordinary love. Show people that we love them. Not just at birth, all the way through life. Because we all know what we do the worst in this country. What do we do worse? We treat our young and our old absolutely abysmally. We got to change that. And it starts right here at home in North Carolina by building a culture of life that says you have value from the time you hit your mother's womb to the time when you are old and about to enter that nursing home. And we want to build that culture here. We're not ashamed to say it. We're not going to back up one bit. Because Because now is the time for those who believe in right to do right and speak up. We've been silent too long. We can be silent no more. North Carolina's future is at hand, and so is our country's. It's time for us to do the right thing in 2024. And I believe the right thing is this: to hold on to our legislative majorities, to hold on to our Supreme Court and our Court of Appeals, to get an individual named Gad Bishop elected to Attorney General, to get one of these fine Republicans elected to Lieutenant Governor, and then get somebody elected to governor. Now, I don't know who you might choose, but I know a guy. And if you want me to, hear me stand down here at the bottom of these steps here in a few minutes. Because I can tell you this, not only do I love North Carolina, I love each and every one of you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I fought for you as lieutenant governor, and I'll fight for you like heck as governor. Because together, we can take this state to its next great level of success. God bless you all. God bless the great state of North Carolina. Thank you.